In this video, we are going to be adding a few complex numbers. I have 5 plus I plus 6 minus 2i. Now, I don't really have to rewrite this. There is a plus between these parentheses, but just to create good habits, I will rewrite it. 5 plus I plus 6 minus 2i. Why did I not change any signs when I took those parentheses away? There's just a plus in front of there. Nothing changed. Now guys, this is just like adding like terms. So what is positive 5 and a positive 6? You've got it. It is positive 11. I also have a positive I and a negative 2i. Now remember, in front of this I, it is still just a 1 there. So 1 minus 2, that would be a negative 1i, or I could just say negative I. Yeah, it's that easy. Let's do another one. 8 minus I minus 4 minus I. Uh-oh. Be careful. There is a negative in front of this parentheses. I am definitely going to rewrite this problem. I will have 8 minus I, and instead of a positive 4, I will now write a negative 4. And instead of a negative I will now write a positive I. I had to use distributive property here. Now let's add our like terms. I have a positive 8 and a negative 4. That will be a positive 4. And a negative I and a positive I, well, that's just 0i. They cancel each other out. It's as if I have a negative 1i and a positive 1i. That would be a 0i. But look at this. 0 times anything is just 0. So I'm not going to write that. Your answer is simply 4. Okay, look what we have here. Negative 2 plus radical negative 8 plus 5 minus radical negative 50. I have a little bit of work to do here. We saved the best for last. Do not make this minus a negative a plus. That is not a parentheses. This negative 50 is underneath a radical. Don't make a careless error like that. Well, let's rewrite the problem. Take those parentheses away. I have negative 2. I have plus radical negative 8. Now, there's a plus in front of this parentheses, so none of the signs will change. So I will have a plus 5 minus a radical negative 50. Do you see any like terms? Yes, I do too. I have a negative 2 and a positive 5. Those are just constants. That will be a 3. Look at these radicals. I cannot combine those because they are not like radicals. Let's do some simplifying. Radical negative 8. I'm going to break that down into 2 times 4. But don't forget your negative 1. So negative 1 times 4 times 2. That is negative 8. Radical negative 50. I'm going to break that down to negative 1. Times 2 times 25. In this first radical 4 is perfect. It comes out as 2. And radical negative 1, we have learned that it is just I. And then this radical 2, I can't do anything with that. 2 is not perfect. It does not come out from underneath the radical. So I have simplified radical negative 8 into 2i radical 2. Radical 25 is perfect of 5. It comes out from underneath the radical. And radical negative 1, that is just I outside the radical. And then I have radical 2 left over. And now I do have a radical 2 and a radical 2, so I could add or subtract them. I just add the coefficients, and luckily they're both i's, so I can put those together. We had to have a lot of like items here. Positive 2i and a negative 5i, that would be a negative 3i radical 2.